If you're a new parent, chances are you've spent more time staring at a baby bottle, wondering if you're doing it right than you ever thought possible. It's a huge question, and there's so much noise out there. So today, we're going to cut right through all of that and break down exactly what your baby should be drinking during their first year, all based on clear scientific recommendations.
I mean, it can feel like a total minefield of conflicting advice, right? You see all these options and all you want to do is what's best for your little one. So what's the right move? We're going to tackle this by looking at the two main foundations, and then we'll literally walk through the first year to give you some simple, clear answers.
For the first several months, the journey is actually way simpler than you might think. It really boils down to two primary, safe, and complete sources of nutrition. This is the foundation that everything else is built on. Now, what's really interesting is how the experts frame this. Major health organizations don't just see breastfeeding as one of the options, they see it as the biological baseline. This quote from the Institute of Medicine really sets the stage. Human milk is the standard because, well, it's literally designed for human babies. And this really shows us why. Human milk isn't just food, it's a living substance. I mean, imagine that. Inside a single drop, you've got all these active biological components, things like immune cells that are actively fighting infection and growth factors that are supporting development. It's an incredibly complex, living system that a factory just can't perfectly replicate. That said, let's be real. The data shows that most families in the US use infant formula, either all the time or as a supplement. And that is an absolutely valid and safe way to nourish a baby. So the crucial thing is to understand what formula actually is and how we got here. You know, infant formula isn't some new invention. It's the result of over 150 years of scientific progress. It started with some really basic recipes way back in the 1800s and has evolved so much since then. You can see the progress right here. Each one of these steps was a major leap forward for public health. Take 1959. Adding iron wasn't just some small change. It was a huge deal in preventing anemia in babies. This whole timeline just shows this constant effort to get closer and closer to the nutritional makeup of human milk. And today, that process is incredibly strict. The FDA doesn't just hope formula is safe, it requires it through this multi-step process. Before new formula can even show up on a shelf, the company has to tell the FDA. Then they have to prove it contains a list of 30 essential nutrients. They have to have super tight sanitary controls. And on top of all that, the FDA does yearly inspections. This is the system that makes sure you can have confidence in the formula you buy. All right, so let's move into the first critical phase. For the first 6 months, the guidance is incredibly simple and straightforward. In fact, it's pretty much just one rule. That's it. Seriously, for the first 6 months of life, the only things your baby should be drinking are breast milk or a properly prepared infant formula. Nothing else. No water, no juice, no other liquids. This is probably the single most important guideline for this entire age group. Okay, and this is the question every single parent asks. It feels so intuitive, doesn't it? It's hot outside, you're thirsty, so your baby must be thirsty too. But giving water to a baby under 6 months old isn't just unnecessary, it's actually dangerous. Let's dig into why. The big risk here is a serious condition called water intoxication. A baby's kidneys are still developing and they're just too immature to handle plain water. Giving them water can throw off their delicate balance of electrolytes, especially sodium, and that can lead to really serious problems, even seizures. So here's the key thing to remember. Breast milk and formula are already more than 80% water. They provide all the hydration a baby needs, perfectly balanced with the nutrients they have to have. And to really understand the risk, just look at this number. This is the stomach capacity of a brand new baby, about 1 or 2 teaspoons. It is tiny. So if you fill that little space with water, which has 0 calories and 0 nutrients, you're taking away space from the vital calories, fats, and proteins they absolutely need to grow. Okay, so after that 6-month mark, things start to change. As your baby develops and starts trying out solid foods, their drink options can start to expand a little bit. Safely, of course. The most important phrase here is once solids are introduced. At this point, around 6 months, their kidneys are more mature. You can start offering just a few sips of water in a cup during their meals. And we're talking small amounts, like an ounce or 2 at most. The goal here isn't really hydration. It's more about getting them used to the taste of water and practicing the new skill of drinking from a cup. Now let's talk about juice. This slide is so important because it really shows you the key difference. Fruit juice is not the same as fruit. When you juice a piece of fruit, you're basically stripping out all the amazing fiber and just concentrating all of the sugar.
That fiber is so important for digestion and for slowing down how the body absorbs sugar. Without it, you're pretty much just left with sugar water. So because of that super high sugar concentration and the lack of fiber, the official recommendation from the American Academy of Pediatrics is now crystal clear. No juice at all for babies under 1 year old. It just doesn't offer any nutritional benefit over whole fruit, and it can actually lead to things like tooth decay and poor eating habits.
Okay, so we have covered a lot of ground. Let's pull everything together into a simple, practical guide that you can actually use as a quick reference. Here it is, all in one place. From 0 to 6 months, it's as simple as it gets. Breast milk or formula only. From 6 to 12 months, that's still their main drink, but now you can add in those little sips of water with meals. And notice, it's only after that first birthday that whole cow's milk and a very small amount of 100% fruit juice even get on the menu. And to make it even simpler, here is the avoid list for that entire first year. Some are pretty obvious, like sweetened drinks, but notice cow's milk is on there as a main drink. Their little bodies just can't digest it properly until they're 1. And this is a big one. Toddler formulas are on this list too. They're often just sweetened milk powders that aren't medically necessary. And finally, and this is so important, never try to make your own infant formula at home. It's just not safe. So when you pull it all together, the science gives you the essential guardrails for safety and nutrition. Whether you choose breastfeeding, formula feeding, or a combination of the two, the ultimate goal is a healthy, thriving baby. Understanding these guidelines empowers you to block out all that noise and make the best, most informed decisions for your own family's unique journey.